Hello students, welcome to my class Chemistry Gurukul. Children, we had already started the chapter 3rd of class 10, that is metals and non-metals, and we had discussed its physical properties there along with their exceptions. Okay, so today moving on to the next topic that is very important as per your exam, so that is chemical properties of metals. It is very important topic, and listen carefully. One by one we will discuss all the properties of metals along with the non-metals. Okay, but in this video I am going to discuss with you only about the reaction of metals with oxygen. Fine. Children, you have to note this: reaction of metals, whenever it happens with oxygen, it will give you metal oxide. Okay, means this is the important part which you have to remember. This is the important part. You can put it into box also so that you can remember it well. Whenever metals combine with oxygen, they will form metal oxide. Okay, this is the general reaction I have written here. Now some of the reactions along with the elements is written here one by one, point wise. You can also note it down. First reaction I have written with sodium. Sodium reacts with oxygen to give sodium oxide. Okay. Potassium also reacts, it gives potassium oxide. Calcium also reacts with oxygen to give calcium oxide. I have marked it here in a box because they have different tendency to react with oxygen. See children, however, all the metals have tendency to combine with oxygen to form metal oxides, but their capacity, their tendency is different while reacting with oxygen. This is the key point which you have to remember as per your examinations concerned. This is the key point. Okay, so because you have already studied about reactivity series in class 8, I hope you have remembered it. Although if not, you can see in my video clip. Okay, I will post you there the reactivity series of the metals. So here you could see that since sodium and potassium are highly reactive metals, I have written here sodium and potassium metals are so reactive with oxygen even at the room temperature. They vigorously react, and sometimes they may catch fire also, most of the time. So to inhibit such reactions, generally sodium and potassium, they are kept in a kerosene box. Okay, so this question may be asked in your exam also: why potassium and sodium are kept in kerosene box? Because they are very reactive, they vigorously react with the oxygen at room temperature. I hope you have understood this. Moving on to the next part, that is magnesium. When reacts with oxygen, it gives magnesium oxide. Similarly, aluminium reacts with oxygen to give aluminium oxide, and zinc also have tendency to react with oxygen. But children, as we have seen here in case of these three elements, they have tendency to react with oxygen easily at room temperature. But in these three cases, they are actually less reactive as compared to these three. Okay, as per your reactivity series of the metals. So these metals like magnesium and aluminium and zinc does not react with oxygen at room temperature. They burn in air only on strong heating. If you will strong heat it, suppose this is an aluminium foil, and if you will strongly heat it up for a certain period of time, then it will form a layer, oxide layer on it. Okay, so this is how you can say that they have tendency to react with oxygen, but not as vigorous as sodium or potassium has. Okay, now moving on to the next part is iron. Iron also have tendency to react with oxygen. Okay, they form some different type of oxide. Why different? I will explain you here how it has been formed, because most of the student, they have problem regarding this. See, iron has tendency to show two valencies. Sometimes it shows +2, sometimes it shows +3 valency. So that's why I have written second oxidation state and third oxidation state. So when it has tendency to show +2 valency, it will form FeO, ferrous oxide. When it will have +3 valency, it will show Fe2O3 means ferric oxide. This is termed as ferrous oxide. However, this is termed as ferric oxide. So whenever you will heat the powder of iron, okay, when strong heating is done, then they have tendency to form this iron oxide. How it forms? When these two oxides are added, so this is formed Fe3O4. See, two iron are there here. When this 2 will add up with this 1, it will have the formula Fe3O4 because 4 oxygens are there. So this is how it is formed here. I hope you have understood this. Similarly here, see, copper also has tendency to react with oxygen only when it is heated up strongly. Okay, so it will form this copper oxide. I have written here in bracket, metals like iron and copper do not burn in air even on strong heating. However, they react with oxygen only on prolonged heating. For long period of time, when you will heat it up, then they have tendency to form their oxides. Okay children, so I hope you have understood how they form oxides, and they have different mode, different tendencies. See, in your class also various students are there, they don't have the same perception, their receptivity is different. Similarly, in case of metals also, they have different tendency to react with oxygen, they do not have the same tendency. Okay, so now sometimes it is good also, sometimes it is bad also. Okay, so certain merits and demerits are there, that also we will discuss, how it is good, how it is bad. That's why I have made some notes here, and you have to note it down in your notebooks. First, you note down, silver and gold do not react with oxygen even at high temperatures. That's why they are also known as noble metals. That's why they are also known as noble metals. I have not mentioned one more metal, children. I hope you are knowing. Along with that, you can add platinum, silver, gold and platinum. You can add platinum also. Okay, it is also noble metal. Now second note, you can note it down. Generally, metal oxides are basic in nature. This I have already explained in you, but again I am revising it. Metal oxides are generally basic in nature. Okay, means whenever they will react with further water, they have tendency to form bases. Okay, but some of the metal oxides, they are amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric word, what does it mean? I hope you are knowing, because I have already explained this term during second chapter, that was acids and bases. Okay, so amphoteric means it has tendency to show both the properties of acids and bases. Here in the third point, I have explained how it shows. See, some metal oxides such as aluminum oxide and zinc oxide show both acidic and basic behavior. Such as metal oxides are called amphoteric oxides. Okay, and I have shown it with reactions also, so that you can understand it better. Aluminum oxide, when it reacts with acid, hydrochloric acid, it will always form salt. This you know that whenever acid and base react, they have tendency to form salt and water is liberated. Okay, so this is a salt formed here, aluminum chloride, along with water is liberated. Second reaction, you could see that here in this case it is acting as an acid and it is reacting with a base, that is sodium hydroxide. When aluminum oxide reacts with sodium hydroxide, it will form sodium aluminate. This is also a type of salt, sodium aluminate, along with water is liberated. Now in case of zinc oxide also, you could see here in this case it is acting as a base and it is reacting with acid, sulfuric acid. When these two acid and bases reacts, it will form a salt ZnSO4, zinc sulfate, and H2O is liberated. But in the last reaction, you could see that this is a base and here ZnO is acting as an acid, and when these two compounds they will react, it will form sodium zincate. As in this case it was forming sodium aluminate in case of aluminum, but in case of zinc it will form sodium zincate. along with water. Children, don't skip all these reactions because this is also sometimes being asked in the board exams. Okay, so note it down properly. Now the last note is very important. All the things which I have written here in the board, all are important. Okay, so note it down. Okay children, aluminum is known to be a self-protecting metal because a thin coating of oxide layer is formed on its surface when exposed to air. Okay, this coating of oxide layer protects it from corrosion. The resistance of aluminum from corrosion can be improved further by making the oxide layer thicker. This process of forming a thick layer of oxide on the surface of metal is called anodizing. Please note it down, anodizing, because direct question sometime being asked in the exam. What is anodizing? Okay, it is done by the process of electrolysis. I will explain you children how it is done, but before that understand what is anodizing and why it is important, because nowadays it is an important part of our day-to-day life. You could see in big shopping malls, lots of utensils are there, colorful utensils are there. Have you ever thought how they are colorful, how they are painted, and why these paints are not burnt on the fire? This question arises in your mind sometimes, because this is the method called anodizing is done on these surfaces. I will show you one utensil here in my hand. Could you see that? This surface is anodized. Okay, similarly here also, although it is made up of aluminum, you could see here in the between thin layer, this is made up of aluminum, but the other surface, this, which is red in color, or you can say colorful surface, it is due to anodizing process. Now how it is done? Children, it is done in larger factories where the pure substance, the pure part of the aluminum metal, it is made anode. Okay, and this anode is dipped in a solution of H2SO4, sulfuric acid. When electrolysis is done, what happens? The oxygen which is formed inside that solution, it will move towards the pure metal called aluminum, and it will form a layer of aluminum oxide. Similarly, this layer is thickened. One layer is formed, another layer is also formed, because this thick layer will protect it from further corrosion, and along with that it also helps for applying different colors to that utensil. So this is the you can say industrial process, or you can say market process, which is nowadays very famous, and most of the people, they are attracted toward this. And this is also a part of our day-to-day life, because the way of living standard has been changed. You could have seen induction, you can say chulas at home also, so that are being used by, and most of these utensils are made up of aluminum, which are being used on induction. Okay, so coming to the next point, that this is the last thing which I will tell you. You have to note it down properly and try to memorize all the things, because this is the important part of this chapter. Most of the questions sometimes they ask in exam, especially of 3 marks, 5 marks. So I hope you have understood it. All the best. Thanks for watching.